Hello, welcome. My name is Ibrahim Adedokun. I'm a software developer and I'll be walking you through how to build an AI agent using BimpeAI. BimpeAI is an API first platform that allows you to build agents, a voice agent or chat agent, or for your different use cases that you might have. So for this use case, we'll be building a computer science AI powered tutor for students. So the idea is, it helps students understand the concept of coding and computer science. So it is powered by BimpeAI. And then just some things to note is that we're using the Socratic heuristic method. That is, you shouldn't give the student the direct code solution, but make them understand why it is doing things the way it is doing, or why the code is the way it is written. So the prerequisites are you need a BimpeAI account. So you need an API key. So you can go to bimpe.ai, register an account, and then get an API key from your dashboard. You need Node.js installed because this is the JavaScript SDK. They also offer a Python SDK for Python folks. And then you need to install the BimpeAI/SDK package in your project. So the first step is to create a workflow. So a workflow is like a set of guide or instructions for your agent, how it should behave. So the first thing to do is you need to initialize the BimpeAI by passing in your API key. Then you can create a workflow by calling Bimpe the workflows or create, give it a name, and then in the system prompt, you can just write in plain English how you want the AI to behave, the agent to behave. So you can give it your guides and instructions of how however you want the agent to relate with the students. Then the second thing is we have the workflow, creating the agent. So the agent is what does, what speaks actually. It is the engine, you could say. So to create the agent is quite simple as well. You need a name, description, and then passing the workflow ID of the workflow you wanted to use. And a good thing about BimpeAI is with a good developer experience in mind, they have the idempotency key that you can supply to ensure that when you run the script multiple times, you don't create multiple agents. You just update the existing one. And then you can, after that, you connect your channels, and this can only be done on the BimpeAI dashboard. So what you need to do, the channel is the interface where the client or the student can interact with your agent. And then currently, if you see on the dashboard, they have support for most of the popular channels: WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger, web chat widgets, which you can just copy the script and then you can drop that into your front end. And also they have voice agent, web voice. You can receive a call as well from the agent. So after you've done that, you can just deploy and start testing. So I'll move on to the full code now. This is the full code base, and then I can run that with Node.js. So I can just run the script with Node.js. So it is use cases, and it is for this. So if I run this, okay, see it's running, and then it is deployed. So it's being deployed is going to appear on your profile or your dashboard. So you can see it on our dashboard here, and then you can, once it is deployed, you need to set up your channel. So in this case, I've set up a web chat widget, or you could also use the test agent. So you could, for example, could generate a code and then send this to the agent, to their dedicated agent test bot on WhatsApp, or you could use the what's it called? You could use the web chat widget as well. So right now I have the script in an HTML file. So and then it's running live. So you can see the agent here and you could interact with the agent here, just like your clients can interact with the agents there as well. Or you could also use the WhatsApp, like I mentioned, copy the code and then send it to the test agent on WhatsApp. So it's connected to it, and then from there on you can just proceed normally and ask your questions. So for example, I could ask you the question and it's going to type and respond to me. Okay, yeah, we could see the response here. It just shows us the difference between a stack and a queue. I can just say like, oh, like how do I implement, for example, the stack in Python. So this is just like you can interact with it. You could it gives you the code base, it explains it to you. So it's just serving the user as they want. So that's just the idea behind this use case. So in summary, in a nutshell, like to summarize again, BimpeAI, very powerful. All you need to do is, have it installed and then install the SDK. So you create the workflow. The workflow is a set of guide, the instruction, the personality of the AI agent. Then you create an agent and connect it to the workflow. And then you connect your channels. So whichever channel you want to use, Instagram, WhatsApp, just connect it and you're good to go. So you deploy and then test. And that's the idea behind it. So thank you so much for listening.